Hey fans, welcome back. This video is going to be looking at standard form with small numbers. So I want to show you a link to a website which shows you a really interesting animation. So when you click on this link, which will be posted, so there it is. So you just type that in htwins.net // scale 2. It takes you to this little website. You can choose a language, and then when you go to start, you can use the scroll bar on the bottom to zoom in and out. So this is the typical height of a human being, and it tells you a fact about humans, so how tall they are. You might click on, for example, an elephant. It's the largest land animal. Only 3 species of elephant remain, and you can use this scale to zoom in or out. So I'm just going to zoom out quickly here. What you'll find is you can compare countries to planets to each other, and so on. And what you find on the bottom in the corner here is it shows you the standard form representation of their distance in meters. So this is 10 to the power 13. Now this does allow for decimals, so technically it's not always standard form. It should be a whole number for it to be standard form, but this is just a nice kind of representation. Now when you go back to the human, if you start zooming in, you actually end up getting very, very small numbers, and this is what we're going to be looking at in this video. So you have to be careful not to get too dizzy from this, but there you can see 10 to the power negative 13. We're looking at special scientific measurements, looking at protons, neutrons, etc. So we're currently at 10 to the power negative 16. So you can have a play with that and just kind of see what you notice and what you might be interested in. Going back to standard form with small numbers, let's look at an important skill before we start, and that skill is recognizing the place value table. So you probably recognize this from earlier, either from year 7, maybe from primary. What you want to do here is fill in all of the blanks. So what goes in all of these blanks here? These boxes do not need to be filled in, but on this row here, you're going to write whole numbers or fractions, and in this row here, for these 3, at least you're going to write the decimal equivalents. And then for the question 2, I want you to write down what's the value of the digits in red. So for example, in the number 72, the 2 represents 2 ones, the 7 represents 7 tens. So you're going to do the same for each red digit. Okay, pause the video and have a go. Alright, and I'm going to show you the answers. So for the first one, we know that this is going to be 1,000 here. And then you got to 10 to the power 0 is 1, 1 over 100, and 1 over 1,000. So as we go down here, this is going to be 0.1, 0.01, and 0.0. Let's try that again. 0.001. So in terms of place value places, here are the answers to those. So check your work. Now if you got any of these wrong, then there's a bonus exercise here. Pause the video and have a go with this. If you didn't get any of them wrong, you can skip ahead for a few seconds. But here are the answers to this exercise. Okay, so we've looked at the place value table, and this is going to be important when we're looking at small numbers. We need to work out things like multiplying by 0.01. What does that mean? Well, we know from year 8 that multiplying by a number, or dividing by a number, is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. So this also works the other way around. So if I'm multiplying by 0.1, well, we know 0.1 is actually just 1/10. So we just looked at that here. So 0.1 is actually 1/10. So let's do a really simple example. 7 times 0.1 is the same as 7 times 1 over 10. So we're saying multiplying by 0.1 is the same as dividing by, well, we've got a representation here that we're going to change. So this is the same as 7 times, 7 over 10. 7 over 1 times 1 over 10, which is 7 over 10. Now that's the same as 7 divided by 10. So multiplying by 0.1 is the same as dividing by 10. And similarly, we can also say when you multiply any number by 0.01, it's actually just the same as dividing by, in this case, 100. So practical example of that, again, let's stick with 7. 7 times 0.01 which is equal to 7 times 1 over 100. Now we can write 7 as 7 over 1. That becomes 7 over 100, which is just 7 divided by 100. So 7 times 0.01 is the same as 7 over 100. So again, if you get stuck with these concepts, you need to watch the other videos. This was a very brief recap onto place value. If you are not confident with this, you should not continue this video. Make sure you revise multiplying and dividing by place value. Okay, let's do the first example here. So we are going to do 7 times 10 to the power negative 1, and we want to convert it into an ordinary number. So we know that this means 7 times 1 over 10. That's the same as 7 over 10, or 7 divided by 10, and that is the same as 0.7. Now, you may have noticed already there is a slightly shorter way to do this. That negative 1, much like when it's positive, you move the decimal to the right. When it's negative, the decimal is going to move to the left that many places. So the 7, the decimal originally starts here for 7, but we move it 1 back, so you're going to get 0.7. So this shorter method you should only be using once you're confident with the representations. So here's a second example. Pause the video and have a go with this. Okay, I'm going to show you this in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so 7 times 1 over 100. Using place value grid again. So 7 over 100, which is 0.07. The quicker way to do this, you can see the decimal starts here and it moves 2 places to the left. So 7 times 10 to the negative 2 is the same as 0.07, because the decimal would have moved 1 place, 2 places. Okay, here's one for you to try, and then I'll show you the answer in 3, 2, 1. So 7 times 10 times 1 over, now this becomes 10 to the power 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's going to be equal to 7 over, and that's a million. And that is going to be, we can write the 7 here, and we're going to draw 6 buckets. So 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is where the decimal ends up. Now we're going to need to move the equal sign just a bit. So this is going to be 0.000007. And there we've written this in as an ordinary number. So this is no longer a standard form. It started off in standard form. Okay, so have a go with the following questions. Convert all of the following into ordinary numbers. Pause the video and then I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, here come the answers in 3, 2, 1. So 3 times 10 to the power negative 2. So this is going to be the same as 3 times 1 over 100, which is 3 divided by 100 which is 0.03. Okay, 4 times 10 to the power negative 1 is the same as 4 times 1 over 10, which is the same as 4 divided by 10. The other way to write this is, of course, we could write 4 over 10, which is just 0.4. And then finally here, 5 times 1 over, now 10 to the power 3 is 1,000. And that becomes 5 over 1,000. 5 divided by 1,000, 0.005. Okay, those are your answers. Have a go with the following questions. Pause the video. You want to write these all as ordinary numbers. Okay, so your answers are appearing in 3, 2, 1. These are your answers. Check your work. Now, if you're confident with just moving the decimal place this many places to the right or to the left, then you can use that method as well. So just make sure you're really careful. And here is a practice exercise for you to try. So you're going to write all of these as ordinary numbers, and then we're going to show you the answers in 3, 2, 1. Here are the answers. Okay, so we'll continue this in the next video. Smash the like button, hit subscribe.
Do you have a pet? Do you have a sweet tooth? Do you believe in the power of a curse?
Have you had your hearing tested lately?
Planning a trip soon? Can you remember the tallest man you've ever seen?
Do you love to go a-wandering beneath a clear blue sky?
Have you noticed what big stars real estate agents have become?
Are you careful with your personal records? Does your computer ever seem to have a mind of its own?